So, Mr., we can keep this on the record. Do you have someone, I know that we're struggling with technical issue here. Do you have one of the witnesses that you needed to get out today that where you're not going to use the owner?
Yes, Your Honor, I can give the court a list, and I have discussed this.
Let's just start with one individual. That way we don't keep the jury waiting. We can bring them in. And whoever you think has the earliest exit plan.
Mary Ann Hale will be the state's first.
Can you bring her in, please? Let's go ahead and hear the jury.
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, Mr. Thank you. Good afternoon. Take your seat. All right. Ms. Hale, would you please come forward to the jury chair, please? Ms. Hale, good afternoon. Let me ask you to, before you sit down, to raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of law?
I do.
Thank you very much. Ms. Hale, make yourself comfortable. Please come up to the microphone. You can adjust it to whatever level you'd like. Why don't you-
Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay.
It's very, actually, keep it right where you were. Can you please give us your full name and the spelling of your last name?
My name is Mary Ann with an E, Hale, H-A-L-E.
All right, thank you. Mr. Rourke, you can commence with your direct examination of the state.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Hale, we tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury where you now live.
I live in Woodland Hills, California, and I have a second home. It's not really a summer home, but a second home in Arizona, Bisbee, Arizona.
Now, do you work now?
I work once in a while. I actually retired completely about 2000, and I've worked part-time since then. Last year I worked 2 days.
And what is your profession?
I'm a pharmacist.
Now, I want to direct your attention back to October 27th of 2014. Did you have occasion to come to Las Cruces, New Mexico?
Yes, I did.
Will you explain to the jury why you were in Las Cruces?
2 of my dear friends that live next door to me in Arizona bought a tractor trailer with a 3-car carrier to it. We flew into Des Moines, Iowa, and then rented a car and went to Ames, Iowa to pick that up and drive it back to Bisbee. Las Cruces was our last stop before we left for home, for Bisbee.
Thank you. What are the names of your 2 friends?
Mark James, used to be Torrell, is now Tartaglia. He went back to his original Italian home, a family name. And Tanya Roy Rogers Tartaglia.
Now, ma'am, do you recall what hotel you decided to stay on the night of the homicide?
We stayed at the El Encanto.
Do you remember approximately what time you checked in?
It was about dusk. We still had some light, but I don't know what time that was.
Now, did all three of you check in at the same time?
We all three checked in at the same time and stayed in the same room. We had a room that had 2 queen-size beds in it.
Ma'am, do you recall the location of that room?
It was on the top floor, and if you got off the elevators, it was on the right-hand side of the hall, and it was, I don't know how to say it.
Well, if I could, maybe give you a little bit of help. Was it closer to the end of the... Were you able to distinctly hear, "Get the fuck out"?
Distinctly.
Can you describe the voice now?
It was a male voice, and I don't remember the timbre of the voice. It wasn't really, it was kind of medium timbre. It wasn't high, and it wasn't real low.
Now, after that, did you hear anything further?
Immediately after those words, I heard 3 rapid-fire gunshots, a slight pause, and then I think 4 or 5 more gunshots that were more deliberate. They were not shot as fast.
Let's back up just a bit. You said you heard, for want of a better term, a first volley.
Yeah, first volley. Rapid-fire shots, 3. Bang, bang, bang.
And what you just said, is that how those shots sounded?
Yes, it sounded like you could tell that it was a higher caliber gun. It wasn't a .22 or anything like that. It was a powerful gun.
Now, ma'am, are you personally familiar with guns?
Yes, I am. I was born and raised in Middle Georgia, raised in a family of hunters and fishermen. My dad taught me how to take care of guns when I was 12, and he also taught me how to shoot handguns, rifles, and shotguns. I had been awakened by a rumble. I was coming out of a deep sleep, and then the door, which I think was a door, slamming against the wall, startled me, and I was wide awake.
Now, was there a pause or break between the first volley that you described and the second volley?
Yes, there was.
And I know this is difficult going back, but can you estimate for the jury approximately what kind of pause?
Probably 2 to 3, maybe 4 seconds. I mean, and if you count it like a beat, it's bang, 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 pause, pause, and then the other shots start.
Now, you started to describe the second volley.
The second volley of shots were what I would call more deliberate. I don't want to suppose anything here, but it would be like me trying to rapid fire and taking more time to aim.
Can you do the same thing you did before, just so the jury will have the sound to go with it?
Okay. Bang, bang, bang. Bang, bang, excuse me. Bang, bang, bang. And then bang, 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 bang.
And how many shots do you think you heard?
I think I heard 8. It could have been 7, it could have been 8. I know I heard 3 rapid fires and 4 or 5 shots after that. By that time, I had almost started to panic.
So I'm just trying to clarify. So that second volley that you described, you believe you heard 4 to 5 gunshots?
Yeah, 4 to 5 gunshots, and they were, like I said, more deliberate.
Now, ma'am, could you tell the direction from which the first volley came? If possible.
The first volley came from just if you face the room, it would be to the right, the room to the right, and I don't know if they were in the room or in the hall.
Could you tell anything more about the second volley?
The second volley was definitely in the hall. It had a different sound than most of the first shots, but the first shots were so rapid I couldn't exactly tell where they were coming from.
Now, you indicated, I believe, what the others thought people were partying.
Yes, it was a rumble. It was almost like a loud party and somebody was arguing with somebody, but I really can't say. It was just kind of a rumble noise, like kids partying and they wake you up out of a sleep.
Now, the next thing you were, just to make sure we had the order right, was what?
Was the door, I'll call it the door because that's what I believe it was, slamming against the wall to our room. It was almost like it almost shook the wall, it hit it so hard.
The next thing,
3 rapid fire gunshots, then a pause, and 4 or 5 more deliberate shots.
now you testified you were able to make out the words, and I quote, "Get the fuck."
Yeah, slam the door, get the fuck out of here. 3 rapid fire shots, pause, 4 or 5 slower shots.
Now, ma'am, when you heard that, what did you, well, first off, did you hear any steps in the hallway?
I did not hear any steps in the hallway. The hallway's carpeted, so unless it was, and hotels are usually built on a very firm foundation unless they're really, really, really old, so it doesn't shake, and it's not, I didn't hear anybody running down the hall.
Were you able to hear anybody say anything else, either between the first volley and the second volley, or after the second volley?
No, not at that moment. The next thing we heard was the police.
Now, ma'am, did you ever go to the door to look out the...
I did later. The first thing I did after the shots started is I called the front desk to tell them that there had been shots fired on the top floor because I figured if they needed to evacuate the hotel, it would be better. And then I was going to call 911, but the guy at the desk told me that the police were on their way.
Now, you said you were with 2 other individuals.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Did there come a time when you had to attend to one of them?
Yes, it did. Tanya is a severe asthmatic. It's triggered by anxiety and by allergies. She takes nebulizer treatments 3 to 4 times a day, and this put her into a severe...
What is the objection? Rules of evidence.
401.
Sustained objection. Go ahead and rephrase the question. And again, Ms. Hale, just listen to the question. Don't go further.
Okay, sure. Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor.
Now, when you had to attend to Tanya at that time, when in the sequence of events, was that after the second volley, if you recall?
Yes, it was.
Did you also go to the window or back to the door to see if you could see anything?
I went to the window.
And can you describe what you saw?
Multiple police cars, sirens blazing, a dog handler, a K9 unit came in, a forensic team came in, and an ambulance came in.
Now, did you attempt to communicate with anybody else at that time?
Before I saw the police, before I went to the window, I dropped down between the beds in the room and called the front desk.
Why did you do that?
Because with my training, that's irrelevant, but I did that in case the hotel needed to evacuate more people. And then my plan was to call 911 as soon as I told the desk that there had been gunshots on the 7th floor.
And I'm asking you specifically, why did you feel the need to drop down to the floor?
Because of the shots, gunshots. I dropped down between the beds so I could be protected if gunshots came through the wall.
To ensure you didn't get hurt.
Exactly.
Now,
And Mr. Rourke, don't let your
thank you. I appreciate the reminder. The last question was to ensure that you didn't get hurt. That was
overruled.
Is that correct?
That's correct.
Now, did there come a time when you either left the room or detectives came to your room or officers to speak with you?
Yes.
Will you please describe what occurred and approximately when it occurred?
Should I just,
I'm sorry.
where do you want me to start? I'm sorry.
I'm going to start chronologically. And
Okay. As soon as I heard the sirens and stuff, it wasn't but just a few minutes before some policemen came up to the floor and told the people if there was anybody in 7-Eleven to please come out. They did that twice, and then they opened the door. And then,
did you see that yourself?
no, I did not. I heard it. Only what I saw? Okay.
Well, excuse me.
Mr. Rourke, don't be asking for a narrative.
I am
Try to give a little bit more direction.
Okay.
I'll direct. What were you able to hear?
I heard the policeman call the people out of 7-Eleven, and then I heard the dog come up barking, and then after that it was fairly quiet.
Now, let's move on to what occurred at a later time. Well, let me ask you this. It was quiet. For what period of time?
You know, I don't know. It was, I would say several minutes. I mean, it's very hard for me to determine the time. I mean, there was so much going on. So I don't know.
Did there come a time when you were allowed to, well, let me back. Did other police officers or detectives ever come to your room?
Yes, they did. They came to take my statement.
And you recall approximately what time?
I think that was about 2 o'clock in the morning, 1:30 or 2 o'clock in the morning, I can't remember.
And did you give a statement to them at that time?
Yes.
Now, did you remain within the room at that time?
Yes, I did.
And you recall for approximately how long?
I don't remember. There were several police officers in the hall. The forensic team came up. I can't tell you exactly.
Did there come a time when you were allowed to leave the room?
Yes, it did.
And did you leave with the other two individuals who were in the room?
Yes, the next morning, the lieutenant that was, a lieutenant came in the room before they interviewed us and asked us that if when they finished interviewing us if we would like to leave, and I told him no. I didn't want to move at that time of night, and we were probably in the safest place in Las Cruces because 90% of the police department must have been there.
And did there come a time when you were allowed to leave or you decided to leave?
Yes.
Please describe how that occurred.
I wanted to go get some ice, and so I opened the door and walked out in the hall.
What did you see when you went into the hall?
There were shell casings directly across from my room in the doorway, and there was shots down the hall, blood dripped down the hall. There was a large hole in the elevator. There's 3 elevators on that floor. There was a large hole in the 3rd elevator door away from the front of the building. There was a smaller hole in the sheetrock just 3 or 4 inches to the right of that door. There was white plastic all over the floor. It came from the plastic that covers the corners to protect the wall corners from luggage and that kind of stuff. It had been hit with a bullet, I would say between 3 and 6 inches above the floor, and shattered. And there was, in that area right in front of the elevators, there was white plastic everywhere.
Now, did anybody accompany you when you went to the house?
No.
Did you in any way disturb anything in the hall?
No. No.
What did you do to prevent from disturbing blood, shell casings, or anything else?
I mostly stayed to the left side of the hall if you're going toward the elevators. And when I got down just about to that opening and saw all that plastic, I turned around and came back the same way.
Now, at that time, did you see any police officers on the floor?
I don't remember.
And do you remember whether or not you saw any, for want of a better term, placards, yellow placards, anything else of that nature?
I know that the yellow placards were there, but my memory, I cannot say when exactly, if it was before that or after that.
Did you go directly back to your room?
I went directly back to my room.
Now, for what length of time approximately did you stay in?
I don't know. I mean, I just, I don't remember.
What time did you go out? Did you go out of the room anymore before you checked out?
Well, with the forensic team getting there, we opened the door, and the lieutenant had come in and gotten a chair out of our room so that he could prop the door open next door, so that my assumption is to protect any evidence in that room and not add any extra fingerprints or anything. But I don't know what his purpose was, but he did prop the door open. We talked to the forensic team as they were putting their vectors in the wall and marking the shell casings and the blood and taking pictures. But I remember that we didn't go into the hall to do that, that they just allowed us to open the door.
Now, ma'am, if you recall approximately what time it was that you and your 2 friends left?
It was the next morning, and I don't know, I would say maybe 8. I really don't remember what time it was.
Did anybody from the hotel or a police officer accompany you on your way out?
Yes, they did. I mean, they had told us that we were able to check out, and we started to walk down the hall toward the elevators, and as we did that, one of the, I guess it was, you would call him an engineer for the hotel, came walking out and said that we couldn't use the elevators. And they taped them, they had turned everything off. And so they had a valet come up and take our luggage down the stairs and to the lobby, and we went down with the policeman, and the luggage came down after us.
Now, ma'am, just to clarify one other point, Did you only hear one voice, distinct voice?
One voice.
Now, on your way out, did you look into room 711?
I did.
Please describe what you witnessed.
There was blood coming off of the bed. I can't tell whether it was all on one sheet or if somebody had bled very badly and gotten it on the floor. I did not go into the room. I just looked at it from the hall.
And that was on your way by?
Yes.
Your witness.
Ms. Garcia, cross-examination in the state.
Good afternoon, Ms. Hale.
Hello.
I wanted to be clear about the room that you were in. You were in the room right next door to 7-Eleven.
That's correct.
And would you agree with me that what awakened you were voices that sounded like a fight?
I can't say it sounded like a fight. Like I said, it sounded like a drunken party more than I don't know. I mean, you could say this a fight, you could say it's a drunken party, it was just noises.
So your testimony today is that it didn't sound like a fight? That
No, I didn't say that.
Ms. Hale, wait.
Oh, sorry.
Please.
I will. Thank you. I'm sorry, Your Honor.
Our court reporter has to follow. And Ms. Hale as well, I know that it's just natural. You hear a question, you already know the answer, and you start to
Okay, I'll do my best. Thank you, sir.
let the attorneys finish with their questions before you respond.
I will do that.
Ms. Hale, I want to be clear on what you're testifying to the jury today. Are you saying that what awoken you sounded like a party and not like a fight?
I can't say that. I can't. If you've ever heard a loud party, then it sounds like it's like rumbling and voices and a lot of stuff going on and all at one time.
You've been called on to give statements about what you recall hearing that night.
Yes.
Previously. Right?
Yes.
And do you recall exactly what you said in your prior statement?
Pretty much what I've said today is, but I can't be exactly sure that they would match word for word or anything like that.
Of course, that was over a year ago, right?
Well, it's been longer than that.
That you've given your other statements?
Well, I was interviewed by the police the night that it happened.
Ms. Garcia, if you want to ask a very specific question, why don't you do it that way, correct?
Well, I was going to see if it would refresh your recollection to look at her prior statement.
You have to ask her a question in terms of what you wanted to recollect.
I think it did. I was asking if you recall how you described what you heard when you were awoken exactly in your prior statement.
No, I don't remember whether I said it was a party or a rumble or what. It was a noise because I'm coming out of a sleep.
If you believe that she said something different in her testimony today, ask it in that fashion to see if it refreshes her memory.
Okay.
If not, then you can certainly approach with some document.
Sure. Okay, I can ask you. Do you recall stating that something awoken you and you heard voices that sounded like a fight and then a real loud bang against the door to the room, against the walls of the room?
Yes.
Is that an accurate description of what you heard?
Yes, I would have to say that's close.
And when you described that as what you heard, that was closer in time to the incident than today, right?
Yes.
When you said that you heard the statement, "Get the fuck out of here," and then you said it was seconds after you heard that you heard the first follow-up shots, is that right?
It wasn't very long after that. There was the get the fuck out of here, the door slamming against the wall, and then the first volley of shots.
Okay. And I want to be clear about the description of what was slamming against the wall. Was it a bang against the door to the room? Like
No.
you previously said?
No.
But you agreed with me earlier that you described it as a, quote, real loud bang against the door to the room, against the wall to the room.
Yes.
Okay. So what you heard was the bang against the door.
No.
Okay.
I said a bang against the wall, and I thought it was a door. If I didn't say that, that was my intention.
Okay. And within a matter of seconds, you heard the shots.
Yes.
And then you described it, I think, as a slight pause and then more shots.
Yes.
And you described it as rapid fire, right?
The first 3 shots were rapid fire.
Okay. So if we have the statement that was made, a couple of seconds, and then shots, a couple of seconds, and shots, is that right?
No.
Okay, you tell me this.
Okay. Bang, 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 pause, and then bang, 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 bang.
Okay. And when you say pause, you mean a second, a couple of seconds?
Yeah, maybe a second. It was because there had been such rapid gunfire to begin with. I don't have a stopwatch in my head, but there was a pause.
But you would agree with me that the whole encounter here that you heard was no more than 6 seconds?
I can't put a time on it.
Do you recall in your previous statement stating all of this happening so quickly? I would say not more than 3, 4, 5 seconds at the most.
No.
You don't recall saying
No,
that? Would you
but-
refresh your recollection to review
Yes,
your statement?
if you want me to look at it.
And this might help you get a gist of the whole
Okay.
thing. What you're describing in here,
Just let her review it
Okay.
to refresh your memory.
Okay, it's this portion. So you're just talking about the gunfight
Ms. Haley, read
Yeah.
the statement, read it,
out
and
loud?
allow
Okay.
to yourself, and then allow Ms. Garcia then to follow up.
Okay, thank you.
Does that refresh your recollection? a little
Yes,
bit?
I just misunderstood your question of what time you were talking about.
so the seconds involving the gunfire occurred, you'd say, not more than 3, 4, 5 seconds at the most.
That would be my estimate.
Okay. When you exited your room to go get ice, you said it was, right?
I was looking at the ice machine, yeah.
Okay. And you said that you saw shell casings, blood, and a hole near the elevator, right?
There were 2 holes.
2 holes near the elevator?
One was in the door and one was to the right.
And you didn't remember seeing any police officers at that time?
I don't remember seeing any.
And you also, let's see, you have a recollection of viewing these things and not seeing any evidence markers at one point, right?
Yeah, I don't remember. I think my testimony was that I do not remember where there were markers down or not.
But you do have memories of seeing shell casings on the floor without markers.
I saw those out the peephole to my door.
Without markers?
Yes, that was right after it happened.
And the door to room 711 was actually propped open with a chair that came from your room, right?
That's correct. Mhm.
And you were able to peer into the room of 711, right?
Later,
Okay, that was later, and that's when you saw the blood?
yes,
So at one point, you were actually walking through the middle of the crime scene, right?
yes.
With no police on the floor.
I don't remember seeing anybody, but it doesn't mean somebody wasn't there.
And when you actually got into the elevator, you made observations.
I didn't get in the elevator, honey.
Okay. You said that you made observations near the elevator that there were different sized bullet holes.
That's correct.
Okay. Did you state one time that it sounded like somebody was pushed up against the wall?
I said somebody was pushed up against the wall or a door slammed against the wall.
Okay, and then,
Again, Ms. Hale, just listen to the question real quick, carefully. I believe the question was, at some point, because you have given prior statements before today, did you indicate that you believe that someone had been pushed up against the wall? Did you say that?
Yes.
Go ahead.
thank you, Judge. When you gave your statement to the police officers, isn't it true that the police officers who came to talk to you and your two friends all together at the same time?
Yes, they took statements from Mark first, Tanya second, and me third.
And you were all there together?
Yes.
Do you also recall describing this incident as a lot of loud noise and commotion?
Yes.
And Ms. Hale, did the next morning after, because you walked through the crime scene that night, right?
Well, all of this happened after midnight, but earlier, yes.
Okay. And then you actually walked, I think you said that you walked through again the next morning when you were leaving, right?
I walked up and looked into the room where the blood was, which was right next door. And we walked down toward the elevators, and they came out and because they had told us that we would be able to leave on the elevators. And then they decided that they would lock down all of the elevators, not just the one that had the
So you rode down in the elevator?
No, they locked the elevators down just as we were getting ready to leave.
So you took the stairwell down?
Yeah, we took the stairwell down, and they took our baggage down for us.
And either the night of the incident or the next morning, the police never escorted you out of the hotel, right?
They did, that morning.
The morning was when they escorted you out?
The police escorted us out.
You have any, Girl?
Go ahead, Ms. Garcia.
Did I understand your testimony correct that you were standing there talking to the forensic team as they were working?
Well, Tanya and I asked them some questions, and to see if they wanted some water or something like that, and made a couple of jokes and went back inside.
I'm going to ask you one more thing about your statement that you had given to police that night. You told police officers that it was like somebody was wrestling and you first thought it was no men drinking, right? Do you remember using that?
Yes.
And then you also stated in your statement from that night to police that the statements used between the two male voices and the voice that you heard sounded like they were angry as bejesus. Do you remember that?
Yes, I remember that. My exact word, bejesus.
How did you describe it then?
Angry as bejesus.
So the voice you heard that night was angry as bejesus?
Yes.
I don't have anything further. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Garcia. Mr. Rourke, do you have any redirect examination to say?
Thank you. Ms. Hale, I just want to clarify a couple of things so there's no confusion. You had indicated that officers had come to your door and asked to use a chair, is that correct?
That's correct.
And you allowed them to use a chair?
Yes.
Did you ever leave the room at that time?
No.
Did you ever leave the room when you were talking with the forensic investigators, forensic team?
We may have stepped, just through the threshold, but I don't remember going into the hall completely. There's a little inset there with the door.
I have nothing further.
Thank you, Mr. Rourke. Mrs. Garcia, do you have any cross-examination of that limited redirect?
No, no.
Does the jury have any questions of Ms. Hale? May Ms. Hale be excused, Mr. Rourke?
No, I think there's a
Oh, I'm sorry, there is a question. Go ahead. John, give it a minute. I gave the silence to Desch. So, let's see, Ms. Garcia and Mr. Rourke, would you please approach the bench? Ms. Hale, the jury has questions of you. Again, your prior testimony was that you were in the room adjacent to room 711. Is that
That's correct.
So if the numbering system is odd on one side, even on the other, would you say that you were in room 713?
That would be correct.
So in your room 713, adjacent to 711, what part of the room that you were in did you hear the slamming against the wall?
I was in the queen-size bed next to the window.
You were in the queen-size bed?
Yes. Oh, you're talking about where did I hear the slam?
The slam.
It was up toward the front part of the room. I can't tell you whether it was against the front wall or the side wall, but it was at the front part of the room.
Right. But was it against the wall that is shared, the wall that divides room 711 from room 713?
At this,
on another side?
at this point, Judge, I can't tell you.
But it was towards the front of your room?
Right, toward the front left corner of the room, up toward the front, more toward the door.
Okay. So are you suggesting that the slam came from the hallway, or are you convinced that it was against a wall? Because I think that was what your testimony was.
It felt like it was against the wall because the wall shook. So that would be my impression, but whatever would make I hadn't thought about the door slamming.
Okay, but again, I believe that the jury is trying to determine whether the wall that you had addressed earlier, if you're talking about the wall that separates 711.
Yes, it was on that wall.
All right. Earlier, you had testified that you had gone out into the hallway, I believe, to retrieve some ice.
I was looking for ice, yes.
So during that period of time, or any of the time that you had your door open into the hallway, did you observe anyone else trafficking or moving through the hallway, other than law enforcement?
I don't remember seeing anybody.
You have no recollection of seeing anyone else?
No. I mean, that part of my memory is not there.
All right. Does the jury have any additional questions of Ms. Hale? I'll permit any brief follow-up questions by the attorneys. Mr. Rourke, do you have any?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Garcia?
No, Your Honor, I think there's one more jury question.
Oh, I see. That's fine. Approach, please. Again, Ms. Hale, based on your very specific recollection, do you remember hearing anyone say or shout, "Call 911," immediately following the ceasing or the end of the shots that you heard?
No.
Does the jury have any further questions of Ms. Hale? May Ms. Hale be excused, Mr. Rourke?
Yes, Your Honor. State the cert request.
thinks that we can. All right. Okay.
Go ahead and take your seats. Mr. Myers, would you please approach? And Mr. Clark, just as a courtesy, would you come up as well? Just so we know. So, Mr., we can keep this on the record. Do you have someone, I know that we're struggling with a technical issue here. Do you have one of the witnesses that you needed to get out today that where you're not going to use the owner?
Yes, Your Honor, I can give the court a list, and I have discussed this real.
Let's just start with one individual, that way we don't keep the jury waiting, you bring them in, and whoever you think has the earliest exit plan.
Mary Ann Hale will be the state's first.
Can you bring her in, please? Let's go ahead and hear the jury.
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon. Thank you. Good afternoon. Take your seat. All right. Ms. Hale, will you please come forward to the jury chair, please? Ms. Hale, good afternoon. Let me ask you to, before you sit down, to raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of law?
I do.
Thank you very much. Ms. Hale, make yourself comfortable. Please come up to the microphone and adjust whatever level you'd like. Why don't you-
Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay.
That's very good. Actually, keep it right where you were. Can you please give us your full name and the spelling of your last name?
My name is Mary Ann with an E, Hale, H-A-L-E.
All right, thank you. Mr. Rourke, you can commence with your direct examination of the state.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Hale, will you tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury where you live now live?
I live in Woodland Hills, California, and I have a second home. It's not really a summer home, but a second home in Arizona, Bisbee, Arizona.
Now, do you work now?
I work once in a while. I actually retired completely about 2000, and I've worked part-time since then.
All rise.
Thank you, Laura. Please ready to Mr. D'Antonio, can we call your next witness? Yes, sir. Fine. So, is that Miss Lori Desch Ranallo?
Yes, Your Honor, I'll be handling it.
Ms. Ranallo, come forward to the witness chair, would you please? And forgive me if I mispronounced your name. And if you'll keep your feet while we bring the jury. Thank you. Take your seats, please. Let me ask our witness if she will please. Mr. Ranallo, let me ask you to please stand.
I'm sorry.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of law? Yes. All right, thank you. Go ahead and make yourself comfortable. Come up to the microphone and let me encourage you. Keep your voice elevated. Why don't you begin by giving us your complete name and the spelling of your last name?
Lori Desch Ranallo, DESCH-RANALLO.
All right, thank you. And again, let me ask you to please speak a little bit louder.
Okay.
Project towards the jury. Thank you. Mr. Rourke, you can commence with your direct examination of the witness.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Desch Ranallo, will you please tell the jury your city of residence?
Topeka, Kansas.
You're going to ask?
Topeka, Kansas.
Are you employed?
Yes.
By whom are you employed?
The Petroleum Marketers and Convenience Store Association of Kansas.
Please keep your voice out. We'll move the microphone.
Okay. Can you hear me now? Yes.
Now, I want to direct your attention back to October the 27th and to the 28th of 2014. Were you employed by the same company?
Yes.
Did you have occasion to come to Las Cruces, New Mexico?
Yes.
For what purpose did you come?
On business.
What type of business were you coming to Las Cruces to perform?
We do underground storage tank training.
And was there in fact a seminar or some type of gathering going on?
Yes.
And what would have been your role there?
I'm the education coordinator.
Now, when did you arrive in Las Cruces?
On Monday. I think we got to the hotel around 4 o'clock.
Did you check in?
Yes.
When did you check in?
Between 3 and 4.
Did you go directly to your room?
Yes, I did.
You recall what room you were staying?
715.
describe what you did after you checked in?
I waited for one of my colleagues to arrive, and then we went to dinner.
Now, this was the night before the shooting took place, is that correct?
Yes.
Now, you went to dinner, do you recall where you went to dinner?
The Pecan Grill.
Did you go anyplace else before you returned to the hotel and condo?
No, I did not.
On your arrival back at the hotel and condo, where did you go?
Right to my room.
And did you stay in the room the rest of the evening?
Yes, I did.
Do you recall approximately what time you went to bed?
Around 9 o'clock.
And did there come a time when you went to sleep after you went to bed?
I would say around 10:30.
Now, ma'am, did something occur that night into the early morning of the 28th that awakened you?
Yes.
Will you please tell the jury exactly what it was that awakened you?
I heard 2 pops. And I sat up and, is that all you want me to say?
Well, were you able to tell at that point what they were?
No.
Can you describe whether they were close together or whether there was any space in between them?
Fairly close together like a firecracker is what I thought.
Now, was that what woke you up?
Yes.
Have you heard anything unusual that jarred you from your sleep before you heard those 2 pops?
No, I did not.
Now, after you heard the 2 pops, what did you do?
I got up and I looked out the window.
Did you see anything outside the window?
No, I did not.
After you looked out the window, please describe in as much detail as you can what you did then.
I started back toward the bed when I heard 3 more pops, and I realized that was coming from the hallway. So I jumped into bed and pulled the covers over my head
Why did you do that?
because I was terrified.
Now, at that point in time, did you tell what those pops were?
By that time, I was pretty sure those were gunshots.
Now, when you heard those pops, well, let's take the second series.
Okay.
Could you tell if they were closely spaced or was there some time between them?
I'd say they were closely spaced, and then I did hear someone say something before I jumped back in that bed.
Now, was that after the second series of pops?
The second series.
Please tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury exactly what you heard.
I heard a man's voice say, "Now get the F out of here."
I'm sorry, I know this is something I want to ask you for the record.
To say
The
it.
exact word.
He said, "Now get the fuck out of here."
How loud was that to you?
Pretty loud.
Did you hear anything immediately after you heard those words?
Not immediately, but a few, I don't know how many seconds went by when I heard someone say, "Somebody call 911.
Could you tell from what direction that was coming?
Toward the elevators.
Now, you were in room 715, correct?
Yes.
Was that closer to the end of the corridor or closer to the elevator?
It was at the end, on the very end.
Now, do you know where room 711 was in relation to yours?
Yes, I do.
Will you please describe to the jury where that is, where 711 is close, at approximately 715?
There was one room in between us, so I was on the end, then there was 713, and then there was 711.
After you heard very clearly you described, did you hear any other voices in that hall?
Other than someone saying open, or someone call 911?
Yes, ma'am.
I heard some voices from next door.
Could you tell what was being said? I mean, by next door, you mean room 713?
Yes.
Without telling us what you heard specifically, were you able to make out what they were saying?
They were saying something about get in the bathroom.
You don't need to.
The question in its form is confusing and does call for hearsay in the form of the question. So if you want to rephrase it, go on. I have another question, Mr. Brewer.
Yes. After you heard something said in room 713, did you hear or see anything further as it pertains to the
No.
gunshots or anybody else?
No.
Now, you said you ran and got under the couch, correct?
Yes, sir.
Did you attempt to call anyone?
No. Oh,
Did you stay in your room?
yes.
Did there come a time where,
Mr. Ricola, forgive me, there's a little bit too much noise coming over. Let me ask you to please stop. Go ahead, Mr. Brewer.
thank you, did you stay in your room the remainder of the night? I believe that was the last one.
Yes.
Did there come a time when either police officers or detectives approached your room?
First, the SWAT team,
What was said to you?
but the hotel was on lockdown and we could not leave. But if we wanted to pack our bags, we could, but we couldn't go anywhere.
And do you recall approximately what time that was? Leaving?
2-ish or so.
And did you continue to stay in your room?
Yes, I did.
Now, did you stay in your room until you left to go do other things?
There was another knock on the door at 5:30, and that were the detectives.
And you recall the name of the detective?
No, I do not, sir.
What did the detective do?
He asked me the same things you're asking me.
And did you give a statement to him?
Yes, I did.
Now, at that time, did you remain in your room? After?
I finished getting dressed, and I left around 6:30 a.m. for my meeting.
And how did you leave?
Well, we had to go straight down the stairwell.
Were you escorted?
No.
Were you given directions?
Yes,
By whom were you given
a
directions?
police officer.
And you recall which stairwell you went down?
Right next to my room,
At the far end?
the far end of,
Now, did you ever have occasion to look the opposite direction down the hallway?
Oh, yes.
And very briefly, can you describe what you saw?
Yellow tape and bullet holes.
And at this point in time, do you recall where you saw the bullet holes?
Across from my room and down,
By down, you mean closer to the...
closer to the elevator.
Now, once you got downstairs, well, first off, did anybody from the hotel assist you, or did you...
No, they did not.
Once you got downstairs, where did you go from there?
The elevator area was yellow taped off, so you had to go around toward the front desk and out the front door.
And where did you go?
To our car, and we drove to the university for our meeting.
And was that where you were acting as a mentor?
Yes.
Thank you. I don't know if I have anything else.
All right, thank you. Ms. Garcia, cross-examination of this witness.
Just briefly, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
My name is Desch Ranallo.
Thank you for pronouncing it right.
So, you testified on direct that you heard someone say, call 911, right?
Yes.
Did you hear them say anything else, or is it just call 911?
Just call 911. Somebody call 911.
So it was somebody call 911?
Mm-hmm.
Can you describe the tone or the demeanor of the voice that you heard?
Someone who was scared. I don't know who it was. I assumed someone opened the door and looked out and...
I don't want you to assume. Just tell me what
Yeah.
you remember hearing or seeing. And so you said that it sounded like the person who said, call 911 sounded scared.
Yes.
Okay. You had previously said that you heard somebody say, get the fuck out of here, loudly, right?
Yes.
Did you hear any other statements?
No.
And I wanted to make sure that your testimony was clear for the jury about how you described the pops that you heard.
Okay.
You said they sounded like firecrackers.
The first two?
The first two did? And then the second two, were those rapid fire as well?
Mm-hmm.
Ms. Desch Ranallo?
Yes.
Would you please say yes or no?
Yes.
And you never heard anybody running
No.
or any other sounds at all?
No.
And when you looked down the hallway and came out of your room, that was about what time? Did you say it was 5?
That was the next morning.
Okay. So you didn't come out into the hall
No.
after midnight, right?
No.
Between midnight and 5?
No, ma'am.
No further questions.
Thank you. Mr. Rook, do you have any return examination?
I believe I only have one.
Go ahead.
Ms. Desch Ranallo, do you know if there were any guests staying in the room across the hallway from you?
I didn't know any guests across the hall, no. The only...
Is your answer you don't know?
I did not know any of the guests across the hallway, only on the same floor, same side.
Now, my question is, do you know, not...
Do I know who?
Do you know if there were any other guests at the hotel in the room across the hallway?
Only because I read the test.
I'm sorry.
I don't know how to answer that question.
No, you don't know this.
I don't know who they were, but yes, there were people staying across the way.
That's fine, thank you. Nothing further.
Thank you. Ms. Garcia, any further cross-examination?
No.
Does the jury have any questions, please? Mr. Rook, may the witness be excused.
The statement's over question.
And Ms. Garcia, do you have any objection? Ms. Garcia?
No.
All right, thank you. Ms. Desch Ranallo, thank you very much for your testimony this afternoon. You have no further obligations to this trial.
Thank you.
Your next witness.
Mr. Ball, you're on.
So did we, the way I had listed earlier was Mr. Blaine was next. He's out of California. We're okay in switching that order? I just don't want there to be a problem.
Yes, sir, I think we're fine, thanks for asking.
Okay. Mr. Powell, let me ask you to please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of law?
I do.
All right, thank you. Go ahead and take your seat and come up to the microphone, Mr. Powell, and let me encourage you to speak up as much as possible. For the record, give us your complete name and spelling of your last name.
Erasmo Bravo, Erasmo Emanuel Bravo, B-R-A-V-O.
All right, thank you. Mr. D'Antonio, you can commence with your direct examination of Mr. Bravo.
Mr. Bravo, what is your hometown?
Santa Rosa, New Mexico.
How long have you lived there?
On and off for 18 years.
And are you currently employed?
Correct, yes, sir.
And who do you work for, sir?
Sunrise Medical Group.
And how long have you been employed by that organization?
Approximately 2 years, 8 months.
Do you have experience in the area of law enforcement?
Correct.
And what is that experience, sir, please?
All the way from correctional officer to director of the Western Regional United States for adult correctional and immigration and detention facilities.
And how long has your law enforcement career been?
Just shy of 37 years.
Were you here in Las Cruces on about October 27, 2014?
Yes, sir.
And what was your purpose of being here?
I came to a job fair to recruit or to introduce myself to some new residents that were graduating from the university for possible candidates for our doctors at our clinic. Our clinic.
And during your stay in our fair city, where did you stay?
At the Hotel Encanto.
Do you recall what floor you stayed on in the Hotel Encanto?
7th floor.
Do you recall your room number in the Hotel Encanto?
It's been a while, but I think it was 707 or something like that.
Was it the top floor?
Yes, sir.
Now, do you recall the elevators on the 7th floor?
Yes, sir.
If you were facing away from the elevators as you were walking out, what side was your room on?
Right side.
And how far down the hallway was your room?
Approximately 35, 40 yards.
And do you recall how many rooms were between you and the elevator? Your room and the elevator.
No, sir, I don't recall how many. There were some, but I don't remember how many.
Tell me, what time did you go to bed that night?
Around 10, 10:30.
Until you shut the lights off and went to sleep?
Pretty much, yes, sir.
Did you have the occasion to be awoken that night?
Yes, sir.
Would you please describe to the jury what took place that caused you to come awake?
I was awoken by some gunshots outside my door.
Did you recognize it as gunshots?
Yes, sir.
And how did you do so?
In my career, I know what gunshots sound like.
Can you please, sir, describe to the jury the exact nature and cadence of those gunshots and how many you heard?
I would say I was awakened but somewhere between 3 and 5 gunshots.
And what was the time in between those shots, if any?
The shots that I heard were one behind the other. I don't think there was anything in between that stopped.
And after hearing the gunshots, what did you do?
I assessed the situation and I tried to get in a safe area, and I believe I went and looked at the peep sight and then backed up away from it because I didn't see anything.
As soon as you heard the gunshots, sir, what immediate action, if any, did you take?
Find the safest spot in the room.
And why was that?
Well, try to find the safest spot in the room, make sure I wasn't in the line of fire, and try to put some walls between me and whatever was going on.
After the gunfire ceased, what did you do next?
I went and looked through the peep sight in the hallway and
What
looked
did you
up.
see, anything?
Nothing.
And upon seeing nothing in the peep sight, what did you do?
I went back to my bed and picked up the phone and called the front desk.
And what did you say to the front desk?
I called once, no answer. I called again and advised them that I heard gunshots in the hall.
And then what did you do?
I hung up the phone and I sat there.
And did you take any other action after making that phone call?
After I heard some sounds in the hall, yes, sir.
And what kind of sounds did you hear?
First sound I heard was somebody ask for help. And then I waited a moment. And then I heard somebody say, "Get the police."
Do you recall, sir, approximately what time you heard those first shots?
It's been a while. I'm going to say somewhere after 12:30.
So is that 30 minutes after midnight?
Yes, sir.
Now, you testified to that you heard some voices. Can you help me get the police?
Yes, sir.
And what did you do upon hearing that information?
When I heard somebody say, "Get the police," I went to the door. Again, I looked to the peep sight. I didn't see anybody, and then I opened the door.
In what direction were you looking when you opened the door? Towards the elevators or towards the opposite of the hallway?
Straight ahead,
Straight towards what direction, sir?
straight in front of the door.
And what other thing did you see?
I saw an individual standing directly in front of the door.
And could you describe that individual as much as you can see from his head down to his toes?
Fair size individual, short hair, dark hair,
You know anything on his face?
some blood on his face,
And where was that blood located?
around the nose and mouth area.
And how much blood was there?
Like enough, like somebody had bled and then maybe wiped it off or something that was down to maybe around the chin.
Was the blood still running or was it dry?
It wasn't dry, but I couldn't tell if it was still running.
What kind of shirt or jacket was the gentleman wearing?
I believe he was wearing a t-shirt.
And you recall what he had beneath his shirt?
I don't remember.
Was he wearing pants?
Yes, sir.
Do you remember the color and nature of those pants?
No, sir.
Do you recall if the individual you saw that night was wearing shoes?
I didn't look at his shoes.
Do you recall if the individual was wearing socks?
I don't remember seeing socks.
Do you recall if you saw the individual carrying anything or holding it out?
I saw him holding a pistol.
And could you please describe that pistol to the jury?
Pistol was a dark pistol, dark matted pistol, not high gloss pistol,
Could you tell at that time whether it was a revolver or an automatic?
automatic.
And how do you know that?
I have several pistols myself.
At that point in time, did the weapon that you saw, the subject holding, did it look familiar to you?
The pistol?
Yes, sir.
Somewhat, yes, sir.
And what did it remind you of?
Reminded me of my son's pistol, his Glock.
And what kind of Glock does he know?
I think it's a P22.
Could you describe the grand jury, for the jury, please, how the subject was holding his weapon?
Holding it in a teacup position. I don't know if it was with the right or with the left hand, but
That's an objection or objection?
It's an objection, Your Honor. He needs to let him finish.
Yes, that's the case, but I'm overruling the objection. I believe that the question had been completed, or the response had been completed. If you wish to stand and demonstrate for the jury what you have described as a teacup holder,
pistol being held with one or the other hand, and the other, this hand or this hand, holding the pistol like this.
Judge, would you like to describe what the witness is doing, or
I'm sorry.
would you like to describe in words what the...
Why don't you verbalize for the record? I know that you're demonstrating it, but that doesn't clearly translate onto the record. And just use one hand. Your right hand is in what?
The right hand is gripping the pistol, and the left hand, if that's the hand that's guiding the pistol, is cupping the bottom of the pistol to assist with the grip, or vice versa with the other hand, and the other hand cupping.
Go ahead.
Have you seen that type of grip before?
Yes, sir.
And where have you seen it before?
In my career in law enforcement.
And how is that relevant? Have you seen other law enforcement officers use that grip?
Yes, sir.
How long did you keep the door open that night when you're witnessing something in the hallway with the gun?
Long enough to see that I didn't want to keep the door open, and quickly assessed that I shouldn't have the door open and closed it right away.
Now, sir, was the subject looking at you when you opened the door?
After I opened the door, yes.
And in what direction was that subject facing? Towards the elevator or looking the other way down the hall?
Towards the elevator.
And was he in motion? Was he in motion or was he stationary?
Stationary.
Did that subject say anything to you while the door was open?
No, sir.
And after you closed the door, what did you do?
What did I do? I went and found the safest place in the room and sat there
And why was that?
to get myself out of the line of fire if there was going to be some more gunshots going off in the hallway, just to make it safe, make myself safe.
Now, you described to the jury a few moments ago that you heard some statements. And I believe you said, and correct me if I'm wrong, that you heard someone say, call the police.
Correct.
Is that exactly what you heard?
After all this time, that's what I remember, yes, sir.
So at this point, you're sitting here, remember somebody saying, call the police.
Yes, sir.
Now, can you describe the nature and tenor of that statement?
May I what?
Can you describe the nature and the tenor of that statement?
I don't understand the question, sir.
Okay, sir, was he said in a hurry, rapidly, slowly, aggressively, quietly?
Loud enough to be heard through the door, through the wall, as if somebody wanted to get somebody's attention. And I wouldn't say it was being yelled out, but loud enough to be heard.
Upon hearing that, how do you feel?
A little safer, because I felt that somebody or someone was in the hallway that I could possibly see what was going on.
And are you certain, I apologize. Do you know who made that statement?
No, sir.
So as you sit here, you have no idea who made that statement, is that right?
Correct.
Pardon me, I was distracted.
It's okay.
You also heard, I believe you testified, you heard help, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And in relationship to the statement, call the police, was that before or after that statement?
Help me was after the help me.
So the police came first and help came second?
No. Police help me came first and call the police came second.
Now, do you know who said help me?
No, sir.
Can you make a determination whether the voice that said police was the same person who said help me?
No, sir.
Did it sound the same?
I don't remember.
What direction, if you recall, was the help me called from? Based on your room, what direction?
All I could tell, it was outside my door.
Could you tell what direction the call the police came from?
No, sir. All I could tell, it was just from outside my door.
Briefly, what did you do for the rest of the night, that night?
Sat there and waited.
And were you ever visited by someone that night?
About maybe 1:45, I was told to stay in my room by an investigator or a police officer. They were not in uniform. And I believe I gave a statement about 7 o'clock or something like that in the morning.
Did you ever have the opportunity to wander the hallway any time before the next day?
No, sir.
And did you eventually leave that room and check out?
Yes, sir.
And what time was that?
It was after I gave my statement that morning. I waited for a little bit, and then I was escorted out by a police officer.
And what time was that, sir?
I'm going to say probably roughly around 8 o'clock.
And how did you actually leave the room?
I left by the stairwell.
And you were escorted by the police?
Yes, sir.
May I have a second one?
Yes, go ahead, Mr. Knight.
Sir, I have one final question for you. When you noticed the handgun being held by the subject you saw in the hallway, do you recall where the muzzle was pointed?
If I remember correctly, it was pointed not straight down, not straight forward, but in between.
Thank you. No further questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. King, cross-examination of Mr. Bell.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, Mr. Bell.
How are you?
I'm well, thanks. You testified a few minutes ago that you were able to look at the person you saw in the hallway who had the bloody face, the bloody nose, and was holding the handgun, correct?
Yes, sir.
And previously you've identified that person, right?
Yes, sir.
You see that person in the room here today?
Yes, sir.
Can you tell us who that person is, where he's sitting, what he's wearing?
He's wearing a gray jacket and a light lavender tie.
Right, Your Honor, may it reflect that the witness has identified the defendant as the person who was in the hallway with the bloody nose and hands. The record will reflect that Mr. Bravo has identified Mr. Chen here in the courtroom. Thank you. Mr. Bravo, you testified a few minutes ago that when you opened the door to your hotel room and saw this person, that he did not say anything to you. Is that right?
Correct, sir.
But in fact, sir, when you talked to the police, remember talking to the police the next morning?
Yes, sir.
And that was about 6:30 in the morning, after the shooting?
Yes, sir, 2 years ago.
Right. You remember telling the police officer that you couldn't see him and that he did say something to you?
I don't remember, sir.
Would it refresh your memory if I showed you a copy of your prior testimony?
Yes, sir.
You're on my approach. Yes, this is transcript page 242, starting at line...
Your Honor, may I get some water?
Yes, of course. Please, Mr. Bell. I'll give you a moment. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Brown, I'm going to show you your testimony and ask you to read it to yourself. Don't read it out loud. And this is the highlighted section starting transcript page 242, beginning with line 18, the question and your answer, and going all the way to transcript page 243 to line 11. So if you don't mind reading that, sir, and let me know when you're done.
To what line?
Down to line, let's go down to line 12. You can read the whole page if you want.
Okay.
Having read your previous sworn testimony, does that refresh your memory about what you told the police at 6:30 the next morning 2 years ago?
Yes, sir.
Right. And so you did say to the police, I couldn't see him exactly, but I heard him, meaning the defendant, he said, call the police, call the police, call the police, call 911. Correct?
Yes, sir.
And at that point, you closed the door and went back into your room. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Are we having one? Yes, go ahead, Mr. Lee. We're going to pass the witness. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. D'Antonio, read the record examination of Mr. Butler.
Please, the court of law. So the statement that was just read to you was from a police interview. It's a statement.
Objection, you're in this trial. And they have the transcript already.
Please approach. I honestly did not hear what was said.
Okay, so
Please approach both of them.
That morning, day of the incident, is that right?
Yes, sir.
And what time was that?
The report said 6:30. I thought it was 7:30.
How long did you sleep that night?
I didn't sleep.
At all?
Not after I heard the incident.
How long was your interview when you were talking to the police that morning?
35, 40 minutes.
Were you tired?
Yes, sir.
How were you feeling emotionally?
Objection, Your Honor.
I'm going to overrule the objection. You can ask him in terms of the condition that he was in when he was discussing matters with law enforcement.
What was your condition when you were discussing matters with law enforcement?
Tired.
Were you upset from the night before?
Somewhat.
No further questions, then?
Mr. David,
Thank you.
please, your recross-examination.
Bravo, you were a long-time law enforcement officer, correct?
Yes, sir.
Don't get rattled easily by things, do you?
Try not to.
And when you just testified a few minutes ago about your previous testimony. Once you had a chance to refresh your recollection, you remember that's what you told the police that morning, correct?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. No more questions.
Thank you. Does the jury have any questions of Mr. Rubble? Mr. D'Antonio, may Mr. Rubble be excused?
Absolutely.
Mr. Davis? Yes, sir. Mr. Rubble, thank you very much for your testimony. You have no further responsibility to the trial.
Thank you, sir.
Let's see. Mr. D'Antonio, your next witness. If I believe I understood the sequence, this is Mr. Pringles. Is he present? Mr. Blaine? Mr. Blaine, good afternoon. Join us over here at the witness chair, would you please? Mr. Blaine, before you take your seat, let me ask you to please raise your right hand. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of law?
I do.
Thank you. Take your seat, make yourself comfortable. Please come up to the microphone, adjust it to whatever height you need. Why don't you begin by giving us your complete name and the spelling of your last name?
It's Brody Blaine, B-L-A-I-N.
Thank you. Mr. Prindle, you can commence with your direct examination, Mr. Blaine.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good afternoon, Mr. Blaine.
Good afternoon.
And Mr. Blaine, try to bring the microphone a little bit so you're in front.
Okay.
Mr. Blaine, where do you currently live?
Visalia, California.
And do you work in California, Mr. Blaine?
Yes, I do.
What kind of work do you do in California?
Pecan farming.
Mr. Blaine, we're going to go back in time to October of 2014. Were you living in California in October of 2014?
Yes, I was.
In the same city?
Yes.
And Mr. Blaine, in October of 2014, did you travel to Las Cruces, New Mexico?
Yes.
And do you recall the reason for coming to Las Cruces?
I had a pecan meeting for a marketing order.
And a little more specifically, were you here in Las Cruces on October 27th, 2014?
Yes.
And when you came to Las Cruces on October 27th, 2014, you recall where you stayed?
The Encanto Hotel.
And were you actually, did you rent a room there?
What's that?
Did you rent a room there?
Yes.
Do you remember what floor it was on?
I believe the 7th floor.
Okay. And were you at the Encanto Hotel the evening of October 27th, 2014?
Yes.
And Mr. Blaine, do you recall what you did early in the evening?
I had gone out to dinner with some associates and then returned back to the hotel about somewhere between 11 and 11:30.
And when you returned to your hotel room around 11:30 at the Encanto, did you immediately go to sleep or go to bed?
Yeah.
And at some point in time, did you fall asleep shortly thereafter?
Yeah, somewhere between 11 and 11:30.
So after going to sleep around 11:30, Mr. Blaine, at some point in time, did you hear something that caused you to wake up?
Yeah, I heard gunshots that woke me out of a dead sleep.
So could you be a little more specific regarding the gunshots? About how many did you hear?
I heard a couple shots, 2 to 3, and then a space where I heard call police, and then a few more shots after that.
So was there a break in between the gunshots, between the two groups that you just described?
Yes.
And how long of a break was it? Was it just a few seconds?
It's hard to say. That was when I dove to the floor So I'm not sure how long that time was.
Okay, but there was at least some break.
There was a noticeable break,
Okay,
yes.
thank you. So you're a little bit ahead of me there. So after you heard the gunshots, what did you do?
I dove to the floor and barricaded myself behind a chair that was in the room.
And why did you feel necessary to do that?
Because it sounded like the shots were right outside my room.
Were you concerned for your safety?
Yes.
And you said you heard someone yelling, call the police, is that correct?
That's correct.
Did you hear any other voices?
No.
And after you dove to the floor, did you hear anything else after that? Any more gunshots or any more voices?
After the gunshots, the second set of gunshots, I had a light knock on my door. I didn't open it. And then where I had fallen down to the ground, I had an adjoining door to another room. And so my head was right there. I could hear knocking on the door to that room, and the person saying, you know, Sheriff, let me in, Sheriff Department. And then I could kind of hear knocking on doors down the hallway, and the person saying the same thing, Sheriff, Sheriff's Department, let me in.
Sorry. Did it sound like that person who was saying, Sheriff's Department, let me in, was knocking on several doors?
Yeah, it sounded like it was just going down the hallway off into the distance.
And when you heard this person say, Sheriff's Department, let me in, and was going away from you down the distance, was that before or after the second volley of shots?
After.
Did you hear any more shots after that?
No.
Now, backing up just a bit, you heard someone say, call the police.
Yes.
Leading question.
Sustain, rephrase your question, please. Follow the answer.
Did you hear anybody say anything after you heard the shots?
After the first shots, I heard, call the police.
Did you know at the time why anyone was saying call the police?
Objection, Aaron, calls for speculation.
Sustain.
Did you hear anybody say anything else besides call the police?
No.
Did you hear a person saying Sheriff's Department?
Sustain.
And after that, did you hear your more gunshots?
Yes. Yes. So it was a couple shots, a space where I heard, call the police, then a few more shots, I couldn't tell you the number, and then the person after that going door to door saying Sheriff's Department.
And any more shots?
No.
And what did you do after that?
I got up and went and grabbed my cell phone. I was going to call the police, but when I got up and looked outside the window, there was already police arriving, and a lot of them. So I went ahead and went back down on the floor and just waited until, at which point in time I heard police outside my room, and I opened the door and asked if everything was okay, and the police said, go back in your room, stay in your room.
Okay.
Yes, go ahead.
The state has no further questions, but this witness at this point in time.
Thank you. Mr. Dick. Thank you. Cross-examination of Mr. Blaine.
Mr. Blaine, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
At some point that evening, you believe you may have heard some male subjects or males arguing sometime around the time of the shots. Is that correct?
That's correct.
But you don't know exactly the sequence?
No, it kind of blended in, and I couldn't be sure if it was during the shots or slightly before.
And the reason you know that is you were sort of fuzzy from being asleep.
Yeah, yeah.
And the voice you heard, you believe was saying, call the police, call 911. It was pretty insistent and pretty loud, right?
Yes, that one was definite.
And then after that, sometime after that, is when you heard the knocking on the doors and someone saying, Sheriff's Department, open the door, let me in.
Yes, and it sounded like I was on different rooms, not my room.
And what you mean is going down the row of doors, knocking on doors, saying the same thing.
Correct.
Several times. You have a moment now.
Go ahead, Mr. Day. Mayor, pass the witness. Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Pinto, is there any redirect examination of Mr. Blaine?
Just one question, Your Honor. Thank you. Mr. Blaine, how long after you heard someone say, call the police, did you hear the knocking in the subsequent Sheriff's Department? How long after you heard call the police?
After call the police, there was the second round of shots.
How long after you heard call the police, did you hear the knocking on the doors going down the hall?
Within a couple minutes.
Short period of time?
Short period of time.
And you called when you were saying?
I think it was 7:07, 7:09. I'd have to look it up.
Was you in the elevator?
Yeah. When I came out of my room that morning, the elevator's right to my left.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Day.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Cross-examination.
Chief Blaine, let me ask you, you just testified a minute ago that you thought that what happened was someone said call the police and then there were some more shots.
The call the police was in between. Yes.
Right, but you remember giving a testimony a year ago here, and you were asked the same question, and your answer was you heard the shots, a series of shots followed by call the police. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Okay, so the series of shots came and then someone said call the police. Is that accurate?
Yeah, a couple shots, call the police, then more shots.
Okay, and that's not what you said a year ago. Would it help refresh your recollection if you read your testimony?
Sure.
My approach to witness, Your Honor. Sorry, trial transcript 103, starting at line 7.
You don't have to read it out. Don't read it out loud, but if you would. Starting up here, read it to yourself as far as you need to refresh your memory.
And Mr. Blaine, if you need to, you can read the paragraph before it comments up to the question.
Yeah, but we go.
Yes, go ahead.
Mr. Blaine, have you had a chance to review your prior testimony?
Yes.
Okay. And did you see anywhere in there where you said that the phrase "call the police" came in the middle of a series of shots?
No, that is much more broad, the questioning there, and I previously said that I heard them say, call the police.
And this was closer in time to the incident when you made this statement than we are today, right?
Right.
Thank you, Pastor.
I believe that that was your recross, is that right? Yes. Does the jury have any questions of Mr. Blaine? Mr. Brindle, may Mr. Blaine be excused?
Yes, Your Honor, may be excused.
Mr. Dale?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Blaine, thank you very much for your testimony this afternoon. You have no further responsibilities to this trial.
Okay.
You're free to leave.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Antonio, I'm not clear who to turn to. You had earlier identified either Mr. Zamora or Mr. Corral to be the next witness.
I have a 30-second stretch, please.
Sure.
Thank you.
Your Honor, there is one more witness of travel arrangements, and that is Martin Regal.
Give me the number on your witness list, please. All right, I've been informed that it's number 12. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Let me ask you before you take your seat, please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of law?
I do.
All right. Please take your seat and make yourself comfortable. Please come up to the microphone as much as possible. We can adjust it to a different kind